Welcome to your favorite Tennessee Titans podcast, Tennessee Titans Weekly. Jacques. Jacques. What's up, folks? Happy Friday to you. What
Yes,
is
sir.
good? We hope you all have had a great week as we get into the weekend. The Tennessee Titan boys coming in 2-2 against the Washington Commanders.
Yep.
So, welcome to the pregame show, folks. We're going to discuss, the many facets of this game, Jacques. We here, bro.
Yep. No, you're right, man. And like you said, welcome to get week 4 or 5. I think it's week 5.
Week 5.
And
Yep.
we got the Commanders, man. So what a game to have coming out from a Colts win, right?
Yep.
And a game to kind of get us back on track. But we'll talk about it. You know what I mean? So
For sure,
definitely.
For sure. So this is a team that we don't play a lot. So hopefully when this game is over there in Washington, D.C., hopefully we paint the White House powder blue. Tighten up. Let's get Derrick Henry on the top there, man. Hey, let's do it. Let's get it, man.
Right.
So again, we want to say thank you all for listening in onto the show, man, and everything. And we've watched some tape on this, man, and there's some interesting facts that we'll share with y'all today for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
So cool. So Jacques.
Yes, sir.
The Washington Commanders.
Okay.
We're going into DC. Shout out to my uncle Sherman, who's here, and his wife Sabrina, that's here in Nashville. They live in DC. They're here for the Tennessee State homecoming. The city's on fire right now. But again, Washington, they're from DC. So, but the Commanders were going there, and they have only won one game. So you would think that we could probably beat this team. So what do you think? How can we beat the Washington Commanders, man, on this Sunday?
Well, looking at the tape, they are, I'm not going to say a carbon copy of the Colts when it comes to their O-line. Their O-line actually might be worse than the Colts, to be honest with you. And it's just an observation of just looking at the film. And I'm looking and I'm like, wow, Dallas 8 and the Eagles 8. And the way the Eagles 8, I think they had, 9 sacks?
9
That's
sacks.
ridiculous, right?
Yep.
So I'm not calling the Eagles defensive line like slaw, but we have a defensive line that kind of matches there. So you telling me that we can't get to Carson Wentz? Man, get out of here. We got to him last year when he played for the Colts. So we've seen his tendencies. We know how he plays, right? They're a team and of course you don't want to underestimate them, but they're a team when I watch them play is they're trying, but it's like they're not they run out of gas so fast, right? Carson Wentz is being Carson Wentz, throwing just downfield to anybody, right? Gibson is trying. Jahan Dotson is their guy that they look for, and he's out with a hamstring. But how the Titans can beat them, man, get to Carson Wentz and create turnovers like you did on Sunday. You created turnovers and you put your offense in the best position to win. Because right now this offense is not per se can get in a shootout with any team. So if you can put them in a position to be successful, and what I mean by successful is creating turnovers in their own territory to where you're in their red zone, right? That's how we were able to score a lot of our points last week when we played the Colts off of turnovers. So defensively, your defensive line can really eat. And then I look for what I want to see this week. And I think that the defense has an opportunity is for the secondary to get involved, right? Tierra Tart had an interception. I want to see the secondary get to that next step. And Carson Wentz gives you that ability to do that. He will say, hey, get he down there, right? I'm going to throw it. And we'll see Byard catch one or Roger McCreary or anybody, right? So this should be a game where the defense can have a lot of success when it comes to turnovers and getting pressure and getting sacks. On the offensive side of the ball, the King, what I noticed from their defense, and not knocking their defense, not knocking any, you're an NFL player, right? We're not in the NFL. So when I look at their defense, they're not hitters. They're not aggressive. So there should be some opportunities where you can run the ball very well, and Derrick can get going early like he did when we played the Colts. There are opportunities there. They don't have a big defense. They're not a physical defense, so you can take advantage of that. When it comes to throwing the ball, secondary is a little bit better than their defensive line and linebackers. But when I'm looking at it, the opportunity is there too. You just have to dial it up. This will be a good game to run a lot of zone offense where you can get into possession and get possession receivers like Robert Woods, Nick Akina Westbrook. Those guys can kind of eat in these games because they're not really a good man team, if that makes sense. I know Devontae Smith ate when he played the Redskins. So those are some of the opportunities. On special teams. Randy Bullock, do your thing, bro. So that's how we can beat the Commanders. What about you?
Facts, no paper, man. I agree on a lot of those statements there. When I did the same thing, I watched the Washington Commanders play the Cowboys. Cowboys won 25 to 10. Washington going into the half had the lead. They were up 7-3. And it started off well, both teams started off slow, and then you just clearly see that the linemen on offense and defense just stopped playing, man. Like the Redskins offensive, I keep saying Redskins, the Commanders offense, excuse me, by the way, that's just what we're used to. But the Commanders offensive line, they're not good. They're not. There's going to be a struggle. You don't think right now Jeffrey Simmons is at a dinner table right now, eating lamb chops right now, getting ready for this game, man. This is how he's going to look during this game. Now, Jeffrey Simmons had an opportunity really to do great against the Colts. I will tell you there were several plays the Colts was holding Jeffrey Simmons. So hopefully that gets caught. But I'm telling you, they're not even as good as the Colts offensive line, and the Colts offensive line is terrible. So I think, man, it's going to be there for us to get sacks. Again, as you mentioned, Carson Wentz was sacked 9 times. And in the NFL so far, he's been sacked 17 times in 4 games. 17 times. That leads the league in sacks, right? In sacks allowed. So when you look at their stats, so I'm going to break this down real quick, all right? So you look at the numbers as far as what we're ranked on offense and defense. There's a lot of similarities, to be honest. Even our offense is ranked 29. That has to be better, of course. 27 in passing, 20 in rushing, and in points, 22. They're 25. We both average around 18 points a game. Us just a little bit more at 18.8. And on total defense, we're 26. They're 23rd. So when you look at those things, man, you look at there's a lot of similarities between the two teams. Both teams have to play better. They do. But the one stat I do not have on here is allowed sacks. And the Commanders are number 1 in the league in that category. So if you look at that, you have to say, well, dang, bro, we should be able to eat, man. Okay. They're not good. They're not. They don't block. And then even when I saw the film against the Eagles was all over the field sacking the quarterback, man, early and often. Carson Wentz was on the ground a lot. So I think that opportunity will definitely be there. When I look at the Commanders' defense, as you mentioned, their DBs are okay. They fly around the ball. They're active. The DBs are active. So this might be a game where it's not on Tannehill to throw as much. That we're going to have to run and control the line of scrimmage, which I think we can do. Nicholas Petit-Frere just saw a stat where he has allowed 0 sacks this season as a rookie, right? So I think that could continue because their pass rush is not there. They do not have a pass rush. They don't really have good linebackers. Again, their strength are their DBs, at least from what I saw on tape. And I'm saying, too, is Derrick Henry can have a great game. Even in the passing game, Derrick Henry can have a great game. I can see Dontrell Hilliard having a big game in this game as well, too, because Philly ran on them. The Cowboys ran on them. And they ran different offensive plays against them, and they were successful. So I think, again, it's in the trenches. And I think that's where the Commanders are their weakest, is in the trenches. And again, this opportunity, Jeff Simmons can eat. He can be welcome to the chop-up show, man, when we have it, because he's going to have an opportunity to eat very well and to paint the White House powder blue. You know what I mean? So I think that's definitely how we can beat the Washington Commanders for sure.
Facts, no paper. Facts, no paper. So let me ask you this, Hawk, to carbon copy that. How can we lose to the Commanders?
Great question, Jacques. I'm going to show a picture here as to why we can lose this game. Okay. Carson Wentz, when you look at, I'm going to pull up the Washington Commanders stats. Okay. Look at their stats here. You'll see. Carson Wentz has over 1,000 yards passing. Okay. About 257 yards a game at an 82% quarterback rate. So it's not awful. He got some picks, 8 touchdowns, 5 picks. They're not running well at all. Antonio Gibson only has 173 yards. But what they do have some good receivers. Now, Jahan Dotson is out, so that's huge for them. But they still got Scary Terry, averaging almost 18 yards a catch. That's a problem. And they got Curtis Samuel, who has 26 catches this season. So when I look at that, there's opportunities for them to be successful in passing the football. It's there. I just showed as well where we are ranked in pass defense, right? When you look at it, we're 26th in the league in pass defense. 26th. and they're 18 in offense on passing offense. So that's kind of a mismatch on stats, okay, where it's kind of like, well, maybe they're doing a bit better than we are on that end. So we have to be careful on the wide receivers getting loose. Carson Wentz likes to throw the ball deep on these against the Cowboys and the Eagles. They threw a lot of deep passes. They were looking deep. A lot of them were to Jahan Dotson. Hey, Jahan Dotson was winning those battles too, man. He was. But Scary Terry's their best receiver, and you got Curtis Samuel. So I think outside of that, we got this game. But I think that's an advantage they have against us is they do have several receivers that they can get the ball to. Tight end game is Logan Thomas is decent. He's pretty good too. So you got to watch him too. I don't think they're going to run. I know Brian Robinson, the rookie from Alabama, who I'm, glad he's healthy. He was shot a few times several weeks ago. I think he might be able to play. So I don't know what you might get there. But I think the passing game could be a strength for the Commanders, man. So that's my thoughts. What about you, Jacques?
For me, is letting the woes of the second half get to you, right?
Ooh.
We know they start fast. We know this is what the Titans do. But for 3 weeks, really 4 weeks, going on 4 weeks, we have got on a trajectory where we think we about to put a butt whooping and a slonking on them, and we don't. We come out in the second half, and we let a goose egg. I know Derek was not. He was upset about that. He was not happy about that second half performance, even though they won the game, and I was right with him. And you continue that down that road, like you just mentioned, Scary Terry and Curtis Samuels. We've seen Caleb Farley get burnt, right? We've Terrence Mitchell still out there getting ate up. So if you allow them to get back in the game with those deep passes, right, and you allow them to kill us like that, it'll be a point to the point where they can tie the game, and then boom, we're coming out trying to figure out what happened, right? Another reason why we can lose this game is playing down to our opponent. We always do that, right?
Thanks.
We think, hey, we're supposed to dominate this game, but it comes down, hey, we end up losing the game, right? Because of our own self-inflictions. And Titans do that a lot. And what we have to make sure we own our Grizzly is not making stupid mistakes in the right time. That makes sense? Stupid mistakes in the right time. I'm in first and goal, and I get a false start, and then knocks it back 15 yards. Then I'm out of plus territory, right? And it's harder to convert that than it is when you're on the 2-yard line. So those are a couple of reasons how I think the Titans can quote unquote lose the game.
It's great points, bro. That's great points, man. For sure, dude. For sure. Facts, no paper. So in that same breath, man, for us, we have to, we got to play the Commanders. They do have players out there. And as you mentioned, there's many reasons why we could lose the game. Titans don't blow people out. They're in every game, man. So who from the Commanders, if there's one player that you could cause a problem for us that we need to watch out for those who have never seen the Commanders play, who would that be?
I mean, you said it earlier, man. I'm going to say one, Scary Terry, right? Terry McLaurin. And I think he was part of that draft with AJ, Debo, and DK. Correct me if I'm wrong.
He was.
Yes, okay. So he was part of that draft, and he's one of those players that can get loose when you need to get loose, right? He's a good little deep threat, man. He can catch. He runs a great route. So we really have to be on our toes when it comes to watching out for him because he's a breaker, right? And so would we let Caleb? Do we trust Caleb to guard him? Do we trust Terrence Mitchell to guard him? Right? They got two of them, right? Do we trust even Fulton Island, right? Fulton, can you guard him? So we really got to be cognizant and be careful with him. What about you, Hawk?
Dude, that's a great point. And I'll add to that too. I think it's on the other end, on the other side of the receiving core, and that's Curtis Samuel. You look at this guy. He has a lot of catches out there. He's so far been the main target in receptions. He is their possession receiver. And, Terry McLaurin is their scary receiver. That's why they call him Scary Terry. But when things break down, he always looks for number 10. So for those who have never watched Washington, Terry McLaurin wears 17, Curtis Samuel wears 10. So I think, this could be a game that he could continue to eat pretty well against the Titans. Not saying he's going to score a lot of touchdowns, but he might could get 6 to 8 catches this game and 80 yards if we're not careful. So, I think it's him because if you think of, the last few games we've played, who's been eating the most, man? The second receiver, right? Alec Pierce, Matt Hollister, Sterling Shepard. Those guys have been eating, okay? Gabe Davis for the Bills did the same thing.
Yep,
so we got to watch out for those guys, man, for sure, man. So that's who I think, man, we got to be careful for.
Got it. So another question or next topic is Who for the Titans do you think will have a big game? We know Derek had a big game last week. Who do you think this week will have a breakout quote unquote game? Big Jeff.
That guy, 98, Jeffrey Simmons, on the defensive side of the ball. They've given up 17 sacks. And when you look at this too, man, when you look at, the injury report, we do got a lot of folks hurt, like on defense. Bud Dupree, who, as you mentioned, Jacques, it's a fact. He controls the narrative on defense. It's Bud Dupree. When he balls out, everybody does well. Monty Hooker's out, Zach Cunningham, and Ola Daney is out. Traylon Burks, Joe Jones, those guys are out. So that could impact Jeffrey Simmons, but I don't think it's going to. That's how bad the Commanders' offensive line is. They get beat regularly. And then Carson Wentz, he can move. He does move. He got 60, almost 70 yards rushing you, so he can move around. But we've seen Carson Wentz last year. We know how he plays, man. He's more of a statue than a running quarterback. He just happens to be mobile in some points. I'd say Jeffrey Simmons will have 2 sacks.
Okay.
He'll have at least 2 sacks, and one of those will be a fumble.
Okay.
So hopefully I'm right. 2 sacks minimum. I'm saying Jeffrey Simmons. What about you, Jacques?
I'm gonna get his partner in crime, Danico Archery, right? Danico had a big game against the Colts. I think he led us in sacks, I believe.
Yep.
I'm gonna mimic that. I think just as Jeffrey eats, Danico eats. They feed off each other's energy, right? Yep. They're gonna be looking to double and triple team Jeffrey. So that's gonna create one-on-one matchups with Danico and where he can eat, right? And Danico does very good in space. When he gets you, if that makes sense, right?
Yep.
So for me with Danico, I say he's going to have a breakout game with this game. I'm not going to give you the sack numbers because you good at that, Hawk. So I'm going to let you keep that. But that's for me, it's Danico Archery.
Okay, gotcha, man, gotcha. So we both feel if we feel on the Washington side, their receivers we got to watch out for, and on our side for them, they need to watch out for our D linemen. Clearly,
they know that. They know that.
And watching the film, Jacques, I totally agree with the things we're saying here. I mean, it's clear, it's evident as hell that's what's going on for sure, man. So yeah, man. So Jacques, man, you and I have been talking about just different things within the Titans, right?
Right.
As far as Mike Vrabel, AJ Brown, and also about TV ratings. So you brought up the TV ratings thing, man. I thought it was interesting, and so I brought this on here as well, man. So Jacques, man, talk to me, bro. What is it, man? What you think, bro?
So I think it's several factors. One factor is the games have been moved to Fox. Now I didn't know this until watching the Colts game, and I was like, "Why is our games being moved to Fox? That makes no sense, right?" But it's a Titans game, right? You still want to do with the Titans. So that's one theory. Another theory I have is the playoff gut punch, right? I think a lot of people are just so used to seeing this team now, and they know this team this is what it is, right? Great stuff, Hawk.
Yeah.
They know this team is what it's going to be. That makes sense. You get rid of AJ, you trade AJ away. Julio's not here no more, so the star power is not here. You still got Henry, but when I was at the games last year, people brought tickets to see Julio. Okay. That's how crazy this thing was. Now we're back to square one where the opponent's fans are outnumbering Titans fans at the games, right? Yep. So I think people have something better to do besides watch the Titans either win or lose, and it's not an exciting win anymore, right? We're not blowing people out the water like you said. So I've already seen this product. When you bring me something new, I'll start watching the games again. But until then, boom, right? Another thing is too streaming where some people might not get the games. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people probably might, because I've noticed that a lot of people have been saying on Twitter, well, they're not showing the Titans games on Fox 17 this week. They're not showing the games on this week. So people can't stream. So that people can't look. So what they do is they'll go to YouTube, watch the games on YouTube, or they'll watch a fellow YouTuber commentate the game, and they'll watch us watch them, right? While we're doing our reaction to the game. So there's a couple of theories of why I think the ratings are down. It's an interesting conversation that came up when I seen that tweet. I was like, that's very interesting to why I think this is happening. What do you think, Hawk?
Bro, I don't know what to add to that. I think those are all great points. The gut punch, I think, is the biggest point for us right now. I just don't think, we lost a big opportunity, man. We did. We messed up.
We
We
did.
messed up. We messed up last year. We had the number 1 seed in the AFC, man.
Mm-hmm.
Home field advantage throughout the playoffs. What more can you ask for? And we
Right.
blew it in the first round. So I think people are still emotionally scarred from that right now. It might take 2 years to get over there because we know it's not, you don't have many opportunities, especially like an organization like the Titans that, man, you squander that opportunity, man, it's gone. So, I would say too that, when I look at, football as a whole,
Oh,
now
there you
I'm going to
go.
say I don't know the ratings in the
Facts.
NFL.
Bro, we do think, boy, keep
Yep.
going, Hawk. I was just thinking
Yeah,
that. Keep going. Facts no paper,
NFL
bro.
games have been trash this year. The games
Yes.
have been boring. The Denver
Yes.
Broncos game against the Colts was terrible.
It was
So
terrible.
some people might cut it on the same, but they don't probably watch the whole game. Like, I'm not watching this bull crap.
Did that
And
last night?
at times, the Titans are not that exciting at times. We know that. So you sort of know that going in. It's like, well, we don't have a lot of splash plays or splash players, really. So it's like, I don't really want to watch that. I'm in Nashville. I'm kicking it anyway. So yeah, man, I think the product right now is just kind of in a downtrend right now. I don't know why, but it is. So, yep.
That facts no paper, Hawk, because great minds think alike. That actually might be a topic on one of our live shows that we get the fans involved to see it, engage or whatever. But hey, that's a hell of a point, dude. That's
Yeah, man.
Great point. Great point.
For sure, man. For sure. So, but yeah, well, Jacques, I know we talked about AJ Brown, right? So I'm gonna read the quote.
Please.
So as you all know, this past week, AJ's still chirping, man. I just don't know what it is, man. I don't know. But AJ said, man, man, Vrabel, I got a lot of respect for him. But he's the he's the New England Bill Belichick way. Everything is locked in, no fun over there. You're going to get the job done. But over here with Nick Sirianni, just letting us have fun, do what we do, let us express our personality. I think that's huge. You want somebody to express themselves and be themselves. So AJ Brown is basically saying it's no fun here in Tennessee. He's having a ball in Philadelphia or whatever. Jacques, talk to me, bro. What are your thoughts, man?
So I'm with you, man. Why? First of all, brother AJ, man, focus on you and the Eagles and your career, and you becoming the best version of yourself, man. The Titans ship has sailed. Okay, I think fans are moving on. But for this particular statement that he made, NFL, yes, it is fun. Yes, we see the glitz and glamours and you getting paid, but it's still your job. Okay, it is still work. You're still working, okay? You just make more money than the average person, right? You make more money than us, right? But I think it's a generational thing, right? I know we are part of two. Me and you are part of two different generations, but our generations kind of are almost hand in hand when it comes to a lot of things, especially when it comes to work ethic, right? When it comes to hey, I'm here to have my family eat. You're changing your generation. You create generational wealth with what you're doing. Now, would I rather play for somebody like Vrabel? Yes, because I know you're going to get a winning product. One, he has your back. He used to play in the NFL. He understands me as a player, right? Two, I know, hey, I'm coming in here to win games. I'm not coming here to play, have fun, and jump around and party and all that crap. I'm here to win. We're trying to win a Super Bowl. Our goal is a Super Bowl. I don't know what his goal was, but my goal is to win a Super Bowl. Yeah, get paid at the end of the day, but still, at my goal, I'm here to get that Lombardi trophy and say I'm a champion, right?
Yep.
He wants that type style of mentality. Vrabel, to me, Vrabel comes off as a he's a hard butt sometimes. Yes, he does. He comes off as arrogant, but I look at him as somebody that has a structure, right? A lot of these new kids, man, they don't have structure. They're not used to having structure, right? So we have a structure here in Tennessee. We have a culture now. At first, we didn't have a culture, Hawk. Now we have a culture. Our culture is smart, reliable, dependable, team first football guys, right? John Robinson will tell you the credo, and Vrabel will tell you the credo. That's why Robert Woods fits here well, right? That's why Jeffrey Simmons fits here well. That's why they're successful. That's why free agents come here because they're like, look, man, I would love to play for Vrabel. Patrick Mahomes even said it at the Pro Bowl. I would love to play for somebody like Vrabel.
He did.
You know why? Because Patrick Mahomes has a worth ethic. His worth ethic, you're not saying AJ doesn't. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is Patrick Mahomes, he going to come in the offseason. He going to get it in. He going to get it in. He going to get it in. He going to be the best version of himself. I'm not here to play. You look at Derrick Henry. His worth ethic is impeccable, right? That man is a monster. He's a machine. He comes down. right when the season ends, he's getting ready for the next season. Kevin Byard's another one, right? When AJ was here, AJ was on Twitter a lot, chirping, talking, doing this. Now, I don't know what he does in the offseason. He can be training in the offseason doing what he do. But to make a comment like that, Vrabel's here to bring a winning culture. Tennessee hasn't had a culture since Eddie George and Steve McNair. Now we got one, and you complaining about it. I think that's one of the reasons what got him shipped out of here. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all, right? But I think Vrabel would rather put up with somebody that has less quote-unquote talent than somebody that has talent and has an attitude.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying? So that's for me. What about you, Hawk?
Woo, shot, man, bro. No, woo. Facts, no paper, bro. Go ahead,
AJ. If you see this video, bro, I'm not getting on to you. I'm just giving you counsel, my brother. So just go with it. Boy, what about you, Hawk?
So, prior to this, now I want to say AJ Brown's balling this year. He is. If they had like an all-pro team, AJ Brown will probably be on that list for sure. I will also say that I had still somewhat, I was an AJ Brown fan. We both were, no question about it. My son has an AJ Brown jersey, his favorite player. But I had a lot of more respect for him before he made that comment. Okay, I think the one thing he could have done is just be quiet. Sometimes every response does not require a response. Sometimes no response is the best response. That's a life lesson. Sometimes you don't always have to respond to negativity or whatever. Just let it ride, right? And I think a lot of times if he didn't say a whole lot, he probably got more fans on his side in that regard. Maybe he doesn't care. I get it. But I think he does care. That's why he keeps talking. That's why he keeps bringing it up. And NFL is, I understand you want to have your own thing, but the thing is you're winning. That's the difference. You're winning right now.
Facts, no paper.
Give it time, right? Say you start losing. Then it could be spun upon in the Philly area like they play too much. They're not serious enough. Sirianni plays, they're not ready, right? When they get blown out by somebody, right? It's all good when you're winning, right? Just like an old Jay-Z song, it was just all good just a week ago, right? Oh. Next week, something else could be different, right? Then you have teams like Bill Belichick. He spoke on Bill Belichick. But how many Super Bowls does Bill Belichick have, right? 7, yep. Right? And Bill Belichick is super serious, but he's got Super Bowl rings. Yep. Nick Saban, how many national championships does he have, right? Yeah. There's not many fun coaches that have a lot of rings.
It's work fun.
Serious business, man. It's serious. So, Again, I understand maybe it's a better personality fit for him and the coach, but I would say this to AJ Brown. Bro, respect your roots, man.
Yep.
I'm a member of Alpha Alpha, man, the first Black Greek fraternity in the world. And what we always say is respect your roots. And what I'm saying is he drafted you, bro. He stuck up for you too when you was going through your situation about suicide. He stuck up for you, right? Show some respect. Now, he said I have no problem with Vrabel, whatever, and maybe he's just light talking or whatever, man. But it's like, bro, hey, man, what you should say when they talk about the Titans, you say, hey, man, I really enjoyed playing for Tennessee. Nashville's a great city, great fans or whatever, man. They drafted me. They believed in me. I was drafted in the second round, and I did my thing there. And, man, all I do is just wish good luck to them. Hey, I'm an Eagles. Fly, man. That's what he needs to say just moving forward. But, hey, he's going to say what he wants to, but criticism comes behind him to say something. So those are my thoughts on that, brother.
Hey, sure. Facts, no paper. I mean, facts. And my shout out to my boy Gio, man. He's a humongous Eagles fan. So, Gio, if you're watching this video, man, put your perspective in the comments and let me know what you think of AJ Brown. I would love to get your thoughts, my brother. Matter of fact, I might text you later just to get your thoughts to see what you think. Coming from an Eagles fan to see how you, because I spoke to him before and he said it's too much hype. And spoken like a true Eagles fan, right? Too much hype. It's hard. Eagles fans are hard to please, okay?
Yeah.
So AJ's balling, but he needs to be dominant. I'm looking for him to be dominant, right? I'm looking for him to be a Devontae Adams. I'm looking for him to be just a dominant presence. If I'm going to put you and pay you like you dominant, you need to play like you're dominant. And I think me and Hawk had a conversation offline. I said, imagine if AJ trained like Derrick Henry. AJ probably can be one of the greatest receivers to ever play this game. Yep. If he trained like Derrick Henry. If he got off social media, he said, you know what, I'm going to perfect my craft to the point where I want to be Larry Fitzgerald. I want to be like Jerry Rice. I want to be like the greats of the past, right? But I think this generation, to me, and it's just to me, these new age football players don't respect the past enough. to really understand the past. And I know a lot of them are young, but you gotta understand the past to get to greatness. Does that make sense?
It does. It does, man. It does for sure. Yes, it does. So cool. So, Ja, great points, man. Great points as always, bro. For sure. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, man, that ends the show, y'all. As we always do, man, and say, man, we appreciate you all taking the time out to listen to our show. Hopefully, you got some good feedback on it, man, and to know what we're getting into against the Commanders. And it'd be interested to see the things that we say if they do come to fruition. So, we appreciate everybody tuning in the show. Again, check us out on Instagram, man. We're on Instagram at Tennessee Titans Weekly. We're also on Twitter at Titans Weekly 24/7. You can also check us out on TikTok at Tennessee Titans Weekly, as well as on Gmail, man. If you want to email us, Tennessee Titans Weekly at gmail.com, Jacques.
And when you do check us out, please cut your notification bells on. I know we had a live show, 2 live shows ago, where somebody said they didn't get the notification. So what you're going to do, cut the notification bell on by the subscribe button. When you cut it on, just say all, and it's going to show you, hey, anytime we post any content on and the same rules apply when you're on Instagram, TikTok, Apple Podcasts. It's the same rules apply. And that lets you know, hey, Titans Weekly just post some content. Let me stop with everything I'm doing. Let me go check them out. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, hey, Hawk, we on to the Washington Commanders. I almost said Redskins, but Commanders. And go ahead and take us home, bro.
Yes, sir. Well, hey, we hope you all have a great weekend. We'll see you on Sunday. And I will say this, too. I know we have folks that'll say, hey, man, they really enjoy us doing our live shows on the day of the game after. So we would try our best to do that. The challenges we have, Jacques is a season ticket holder. coming from the game, getting home is late. Man. I go to about 4 games a year, and I even go to road games. So that's a challenge. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, but we'll definitely do our best to try to get our live chop up as soon as we can. So just keep that in mind too. So, all right. Wait, as we always do, Jacques, facts.
No paper.